she's not going to be the Roddy Piper of our show. Joining us on the line right now is Melissa, who is also known as the former Nitro girl, Spice.
Hey, guys.
All right, we're glad to have you on the show, finally. I was just telling the guys that, before you called in, that we had you booked back in 2003 on an interview, and for some reason that fell through the cracks, and they were joking that the one interview that's eluded us over the last 8 years has been Roddy Piper, where for whatever reason he'd always, the last minute, something would happen and his daughter would fall and break her arm, and we'd end up canceling the interview or something like that, and it just kind of became that you were the female version of Roddy Piper for the show.
How did we have something booked in 2003? Did somebody else book that for us?
I have no idea. It was a guy named Daniel Edler out of England had you scheduled, and for whatever reason, nothing happened. Yeah.
Wow, wow, well, that's cool. I don't know anything about that. But, hey, I'm here now, and I'm sorry that I'm late. I was telling James, everybody, that I am in Huntsville, Alabama tonight, and they're an hour behind East Coast time, so I apologize. I'm very, very apologetic, but better late than never. Here I am.
Absolutely, and we're glad to have you. All righty, so we got a big weekend coming up, but I think even before we get to the weekend, you mentioned that you just had a big opening today in Alabama. Is that right?
Well, yeah, one of the businesses that I'm part owner in is called Blue Med Spa, and we're one of the top medical spas in the country, and we've actually just expanded our brand, and we've taken over a Westin Heavenly Spa, and so we officially open here next week, but we started training our new team here today, and I'm their wellness director, and I'm one of the shareholders and partial owners. So I came up to get the place going, and it's a big undertaking for our company. It's an exciting time. So not wrestling, but that's the other side of spice, right?
Exactly. And variety is the spice of life.
There you go.
Phrase for you. I had to throw it in there. Anyway, I saw that you had a post on, speaking of wrestling, Wrestler's Rescue a few weeks ago. Is this anything that has to do with what you were promoting back on the Wrestler's Rescue website a few weeks ago?
No. The Wrestler's Rescue, what we promoted a few weeks ago is I actually, ever since wrestling, before and after, I've always been involved to some extent with media, with television, with production. After wrestling, I've had my own production company. I've created many. I have a whole healthy living company, and a leg of that is the production side of it, and created many multimedia-based products, coaching products, meditation, hypnosis CDs, books, DVDs, all basically around different aspects or metaphors about how to get more out of life, on whatever level it is, from golf to health to weight loss to diabetes. I've got all sorts of issues that I have helped people move through. And so one of the things, and I've created a couple different television shows over the years and a couple of pilots, and one of the shows that I've wanted to do, because I am a master life coach, is create a show called Life Coach. And I had this concept a couple of years ago. And then at the beginning of May, or I guess it was actually when I saw it was towards the end of May, I saw that Oprah was having a big contest for her new network that's going to launch in January, which is that people could go online and basically pitch their idea for a show to Oprah, and then, get people to vote for them and for their idea. And you'd have a chance to get in front of Oprah and her production team and see if you would be one of the lucky few chosen for consideration for her upcoming network. And so what was posted on Wrestler's Rescue was actually just kind of an all call to say, hey, gang, former Nitro Girl Spice has officially put her audition piece in. Check it out. Take a few minutes, vote for it, put a post up, put a comment, would love your support. And, I was really so thankful in about 3.5 weeks. I amassed over 13,000 votes, so I think that was pretty great. That was fun. I didn't get the big votes like everybody else did, but I also didn't get the little votes. I really did it, made a good run. It was a great, great thing, and so many other things are now in the works as a result of it. So that's what you guys would have saw a few weeks ago.
Excellent, excellent. Now, DDP was also in the running of that.
He sure was. He sure was. Yeah, we were.
Any friendly competition going on there?
You know what? We're great buds. We're connected on Facebook, cell phone, everything, and we were helping to really, cross promote each other. I would post him on my Facebook page. He'd post me on his, and just do different links to help raise awareness. And the interesting thing is that, we both have very similar messages that we go out and share and educate on. And so it's kind of ironic. I mean, his show of what he was pitching was very, very similar. And it was just so funny when I saw it. I was like, oh, yeah, this is so similar. But we were happy to support each other for sure.
Now, you're getting together with some of your old friends at the NWA Legends Fest coming up. Actually, it starts tomorrow, but I don't think you're there until Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. We roll in. The girls roll in on Saturday.
All righty, and that is over in North Carolina, and you're part of the NWA Legends Fest. Are you looking forward to getting back together with the original Nitro girls?
I am so looking forward to it. There's actually only going to be 3 of us. There's going to be Tigress, Fire, and myself that will be at this one. Che was initially supposed to be at this one with us as well, but she's now 7 months expecting, so she didn't think the fans, this is going to be her second, so it's very exciting.
Wow.
And she didn't think that the fans would want to see her 7 months pregnant.
Well, it's also dangerous to do it to the crazy wrestling fans, yeah.
Right. It's the loyal wrestling fans. That's what it is. So we're really, really excited. I've not got to see. It's since Christmas. Christmas is when I got to see all the girls. We were all together, so it'll be nice to get back together and have some fun. And we've all been digging through some of our stuff. We're going to bring out some cool old pieces that we all have, and just some really great different paraphernalia and swag and merchandise. And so we're ready to come have fun.
Excellent. And we have to ask you about the Diversity 5 that you guys were a part of. Whatever happened with that? I know that at one point there was talk on the internet that something really big was going to happen of it, and it kind of just seemed to fizzle.
I know. We went all the way out to L.A. We were on 30 Seconds to Fame, which kind of sums it all up in a title. So we had made a really good run at it, if you will, because after everything happened with wrestling and the different, WCW was sold and everything happened, while it was actually still going on, we had all been approached by some producers, some pretty well-known producers in Atlanta, saying, hey, we really think that, with your name, face recognition, you girls could be the next Spice Girls. And, with wrestling's popularity, with your unique look, and just with the entertainment value and your dance ability, we really want to try to do something with you guys. And none of us were the greatest singers. I mean, we could all carry a tune.
I was just about to ask you if you can sing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but then again, the Spice Girls weren't exactly all the greatest either. So.
I can sing like Britney Spears. I cannot sing like Christina Aguilera. So let's do the pop version. I can carry my tune. I can have some fun. I can do a few riffs, but don't ask me to do something crazy because that's not my skill set. But we all started, and then we actually, the initial D5 had Charmel in it, and as you guys all know, Charmel is Booker T's wife.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so Charmel got the opportunity to go be with, go to WWE and go be with Booker, and so she left. And at that point, we all said, okay, what are we going to do? And I'm not sure how many fans really know Chiquita. She was kind of in the later group of the Nitro girls.
Yeah, with like Siren and them who were kind of at the end of the deal.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Well, she actually is a phenomenal singer and just a love. I mean, we were all great friends with her. And so she took Charmel's spot in the group. And once she joined, she lives up in, and still does, she lives in New Jersey. So the rest of us were in Atlanta, and it created a lot of, absolutely. It created a lot of challenges, but we, at least once, every 8 weeks we would get together, we would rehearse, and then we had these opportunities to do some shows. We got to go out to L.A. and do 30 Seconds to Fame, and we had a great run, and it just, at the end of the day, it just wasn't meant to be. I mean, we got in front of major labels. We had phenomenal energy. We had a ton of people believing in us and supporting us. And as it was all happening, the record industry was shifting. And I don't know how many people listening really know much about the music industry and what was happening, but it went from, you know, the years of pop and the Britney Spears and NSYNC and all that kind of stuff, and just millions and millions of albums being sold, to all of a sudden iPods and downloads, and there was just a huge shift where record sales were not the same, record deals were not the same, and to take on a group of 5 people, the way it all works and the points they give you, it just didn't work out. Like financially, we just weren't gonna. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. But it was fun. We had a great time, and it just still extended our time together.
A lot of times nowadays, you'll see a lot of artists don't even bother with records as much and just release like singles on the iTunes and things like that.
Yeah, and I think we had at that point we had all been in it, and we just said, you know, it wasn't everybody's first love. Like, it found us. We didn't have the desire to be a musician. We were sought out. And so trust me, we put a solid 2.5 years in. And it was kind of like, do you keep on going, you know, or does everybody go follow what's in their heart? And we just wanted everybody to go do what was in their heart. And not everybody loved being in the music group. So our friendship was more important.
There you go. Well, let me ask you. Go ahead, Pat.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you, I've always wondered this about the Nitro Girls. Did they let you all pick your names, or was that something that they gave to you?
We got to pick our names.
Ah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, stepping out there in front of 20,000 screaming wrestling fans for somebody like you might have been a little bit off-putting. What was it like getting out there in front of the crowd and the millions? Because at that point it really was millions that were tuning in every Monday night.
Well, you know, I think probably, James, for me versus anybody else, it was not a big deal because I've been dancing since I was 2, and like I said, I'd been around production, I'd been on television sets, I'd been on music videos. I actually had performed at the opening ceremonies to the 1996 Olympics, and I literally had hundreds of thousands. I danced in front of, at that time, President Clinton. So for me as a performer, I performed on big stages. So it was like I was at home. I loved it. And I had the opportunity a couple weeks ago. I was on Monday Night Mayhem, and we talked about this a little bit, and I remember so vividly. I mean, like literally like it was yesterday, our very first show at the O Arena in Orlando. I mean, it was just, there was over 16,000 fans there that night, and definitely we were at the height, we were just starting to hit the high of being the #1 show, and it was fantastic. I mean, I was just like, this is cool. It was awesome. It was great.
Now, how did the locker room like you guys? Because you were taking up TV time, and at the time their roster was, like, enormous, so...
Yeah, it was interesting because that's when things were shifting. When we came on, Eric Bischoff really wanted a shift in the female presence of wrestling. He felt that valets were kind of a thing that was going to the wayside.
Right.
He didn't really fit WCW and Turner as a brand and where they wanted to take, a #1, a mainstream rated show where they wanted to engage families as well as corporate, as well as frat boys. So they wanted to find what was working, and they just didn't think the valets were really doing it. And
right.
And there was still a few valets. I mean, I had the privilege of getting to work closely with Miss Elizabeth, and it was great that she was still with us at that time. But Jacqueline was there. She was in the locker room. Medusa had come, and she'd gone. She'd come back. So, it was kind of with some of these more iconic female wrestling presence in the locker room, and then comes these 6 girls. None of us.
Well, it seemed like you guys were kind of